own space in a moment. We're going to start today with a little bit of sun salutation and then work our way through some lunge series to get to the splits, some low back openers, and a few other things as well. So let's all start by standing up at the top of our mats, lining the feet up underneath the hips, just taking a moment to check in with your body, with your breath. Each inhale going deeper into the bottom of the lungs. Feeling how your breath moves with that, your body moves with that breath. And just starting to walk the knees one at a time, shifting into the hips. Just going to start slowly working out any tension in this standing posture. Back to stand, all the way into the midline, softening the knees and rolling up. Really small, taking the back line with us and the shoulders. And as we're pressing out of the floor, we're connecting into those heels, drawing up through the hamstrings, up through the glutes. Coming back to stand up nice and tall, inhaling the arms up over the head, placing them back behind the head. Finding that lift of the rib cage, the lift of the chest. Drawing the nose up the wall, keeping the glutes engaged here, and then back to neutral. Draw the chest, the nose up the wall with an inhale. And exhale back to neutral. One more time. Back to neutral. Circle those arms down by your sides. Nod the head. Exhale. Round the spine forward. Head and hands towards the floor. Stretching out the back line. If you need to soften your knees here, soften your knees. You don't have to go all the way to the floor. We're just going to hang like spaghetti and noodles, letting gravity take over the crown of our heads, the fingertips. You can put a little sway into it, or you can just hold. Allowing gravity to take over, soften the knees. Inhale all the way back up, press out of the heels, lengthen through the hamstrings, glutes up through the lumbar part of the spine, the low back. All the way back up through the crown of the head on that inhale. Exhale, nod the head, rounding the spine forward. Again, letting gravity take over the crown of the head and the hands as you roll forward. This time, let's walk the knees a little bit. Keep walking until you get those hands to the mat. Soften both knees. Inhale, lengthen the legs, lift to the fingertips, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften back in. Inhale, lengthen the legs, lift to the fingertips, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, soften. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften in. Bring both knees down to the floor. Let's give it a little cat-cow here. Exhale, rounding into the spine, scooping the belly away from the mat, pressing the hands. Inhale, roll the nose away, the hips, the tailbone away, open the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, scoop the belly, rounding up. Keep that press out of the mat, triceps active. Inhale, roll open. Exhale, rolling up to cow one more time. Cat. Inhale to cow. Start to press back and create this wave, rounding forward, extending back. Working through the lumbar part of the spine, using the core. We want to open up both the low back and the hamstrings today to help us get to our splits. One more time. Pressing back. Scooping up. Come back to neutral. Tuck the toes under. Press the mat away into a bent knee down dog. And walk those feet forward. Inhale to stand tall into mountain. Bring those arms with you. Lifting the rib cage with that inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Down to the mat, softening the knees. Step the right leg back. Step the left leg back. You can always come down to your knees here if you need to modify in your plank. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Roll the nose forward to inhale to your upward facing dog or your cobra. Exhale, pike to your downward facing dog. Soften the knees. Walk forward. Inhale tall. It looks like we lost connection here. Let's fix this. I'm back. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. I don't know where we left off with our flow here. Mountain? Okay. All right. Let's come back to mountain and let's get back to this. All right. Inhaling to the mountain. Exhale, let's swan dive. Forward fold to the mat. Soften the knees. Step right leg back to plank. Left leg back. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, hugging the elbows to the rib cage. Lower down to the mat. All the way to the mat on this one. Point the toes. Inhale, roll the nose away. Lift the chest. Exhale, pike into your downward facing dog. Press the mat away. Lift the hips. Soften the knees. Walk forward. Inhale to mountain. Exhale, swan dive to the mat. Soften the knees. Step the left foot back for lunge. Lengthening the spine here, really reaching through the heel. Keep those glutes engaged. Soften the back knee to the floor, point the toe. Deepening that opening through that left hip flexor. Flex the front foot, shift the weight back. On the exhale, inhale, shift your weight forward. We're just gonna work through this front leg because that usually seems to be the tightest part. Exhale, press back. Inhale, forward. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more. Following that thigh with your chest. Last one, send those hips away. Press the mat away. Look towards the toes. Reach through the toe, tuck the back toe under, lift back to your lunge. Step all the way back to plank. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Make sure these glutes stay engaged here. Exhale, hike up to your downward facing dog. Soften the knees, walk forward. Inhale to mountain. Exhale, swan dive. All the way down to the mat, soften the knees. Step the right foot back for your lunge. Lengthen the spine. Keep those inner thighs engaged. You can be flat to your hands or on your fingertips. Lower the back knee to the mat. Point the toe out behind you. We're trying to find the stretch through that right hip flexor. Make sure you're breathing as you're stretching to allow those muscles to relax. Flatten the palms to the floor. Flex that front foot. Exhale, lengthen out of that leg. Inhale, return. Exhale. Inhale. Keep reaching out of the crown of your head. 2 more. And hold, breathe here. Press that heel into the mat. Reach through the toe. Tuck that back toe under, lift to lunge. Slide that left foot back to plank. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga, engaging the core, resisting the floor all the way down. Roll the nose away on the inhale. Exhale, pike to your downward facing dog. And once you get here this time, let's walk it out here. Reaching one heel and then the other to the floor, deepening that press out of the mat to bring the chest towards the thighs. Lower both heels to the floor on the next exhale. Inhale, the right leg towards the ceiling. Rotate the hip open, engaging the glute. Keep pressing that left heel down to the floor. Kick the butt for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it back all the way to your downward facing dog. Pressing that right heel into the floor to inhale, lengthen the left leg to the ceiling. Press the mat away. Open the hip. Keep reaching through the toe. And kick the butt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And circle that leg back down to the mat. Soften the knees. Bring those knees all the way down to the floor to lower into a child's pose. Scoop the belly, rounding the spine up on the exhale to cat back. Inhale, lengthening the spine, opening to cow. Tuck the toes back under, press to a bent knee, down dog. Lengthen that right heel to the mat and the left heel to the mat as you continue to press the mat away. Soften the knees. Walk the feet all the way into the hands. Bring the glutes down to the heels. We're going to roll all the way to the back, circling the arms down by the sides. Bringing that right leg up to a tabletop position. Make sure your core is engaged here. We're going to circle the hip open. Glute should be engaged as you circle open. You can slowly start to make that leg reach longer and longer. Bringing that leg back down to the mat, right in line with your sit bone. That's the little bony part of your butt. Let's bring that left leg up to tabletop. And circling out. And back in. One more time. Bring that foot back down to the mat, heel in line with the sit bone. Connecting those heels into the mat and to your glutes so that when you come up into your bridge, you don't put weight into your shoulders and neck. We're only rolling up to the bottom of the shoulder blades. Keep the fingertips reaching, triceps attached to the floor. Inhale, roll the pelvis in. Continue to roll up through the spine. Engage those glutes and hamstrings. We want those guys to be best friends, working together. Exhale, scooping the belly here. Keeping the pelvis rolled in as you roll through the spine so that you can roll through your low back. Inhale, roll the pelvis in. Continue to roll up just to the bottom of the shoulder blades. Don't load your neck. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale, roll the pelvis in. Continue to roll it up. Exhale. Roll back down. We're going to add some stability in here. So we're going up into our bridge position. Rolling up here. Hold. Find these obliques. Gathering together, stabilizing you against rotation. Bring your right leg up to tabletop. Lengthen it towards the ceiling. Flex the foot. Reach through the heel. Lower down towards the mat. Make sure this glute engages. Point. And flex 2. Keep that lift out of the opposite leg. Point. Flex 3. Point. Flex 4. Point. Flex 5. And drag that heel back down to the mat. Keep those glutes and hips lifted. And other leg comes to tabletop. Reach to the ceiling, pointing the toe. Keep pressing out of this opposite leg. Flex. And point. Flex lower. Point up. Flex lower. Point up. Flex lower. Point up. One more time. Flex lower. Point up. Flex lower. Drag that heel back in to the bridge. Roll the spine back down. Take the right leg to a tabletop position, hands behind the thigh. Take an inhale to lengthen the leg. Exhale to bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen this time. Walk the hands up the leg, only as far as you can go, drawing the leg closer and closer to your body. Keep your tailbone reaching away from you. You don't want to pick up the pelvis. Leave it right there on the mat as you're stretching this leg forward towards the chest. If you feel like you need to flex, to deepen in, to stretch open that hamstring, then you can flex as well. You can alternate. You can even make circles through this ankle. Watch your shoulders, make sure they're not creeping up to those earlobes. Bend that leg, place it back down to the floor. Opposite leg comes up to tabletop. Take the hands behind the thigh. Inhale, lengthen to the ceiling. We're lengthening out of the quad here. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Last time, inhale, lengthen, hold here. Walk the hands up the leg, bringing it a little closer to your body. Remember, you can flex or point. You can circle the ankle here. Just give it a minute and breathe into the back of the leg. Keep the tailbone reaching away. Don't curl that pelvis in. We're going for flexibility here of the leg, not the pelvis. You might find that you have one side tighter than the other. That's okay. That's real and normal. Soften that leg back to tabletop and down to the mat. Find that press of the heels. We're going to return to bridge. Connect those triceps. Inhale, roll the pelvis in. Continue to roll up. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale, rolling up to bridge. Exhale, down. We're going to hold this next one. Inhale, roll the pelvis in. Back to that bridge position. Make sure your glutes and hamstrings are working together. Your obliques are stabilizing you against rotation. We're going to bring that right leg back up to tabletop. Lengthen it. Take it into your hands. Keep lifting the glute with that opposite leg. Bringing this leg into your body. I know, it's hard. Keep your inner thighs connecting so you don't drop this leg out. Keep that inner thigh connecting of the grounded leg. Soften that leg back down. Stay in your bridge. Lift that other leg to the ceiling. Take it into your hands. Keep pressing up through the opposite side. We want active flexibility. That's going to help protect us against injury and tearing and ripping muscles. And soften that leg back down, hands to the mat. Roll the spine back down. Take the knees into the chest and roll that low part of the spine. Hold the knees to the chest. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, or roll up to sit. Flex the feet. Press back to staff pose. Feet are all the way together into the midline, so you've got that inner thigh squeeze. Hands to the sides of the mat. We're finding that nice, perfect posture, lengthening the spine, reaching through the heels. Core is engaged. Your pelvic floor is lifting. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Spine is lengthening, we're not rounding the shoulders. Looking out over the toes, walk the hands forward a step. If you prefer to have them on your legs, that's okay too. Keep finding length out of the spine, core is engaging, pelvic floor is lifting. Exhale, Walking forward, another step. Looking out over those toes, keep the chest open. If you've gotten to a point where you can reach your toes, take your hands to your toes and give them just a little snuggle here. So pull them into your body, opening the chest, looking forward. Keep that reach out of the heels. Take both hands to that right foot. Keep pressing out of your left foot. You have to give yourself a little tiny scoop from that lower part of the rectus to shift your weight back. Sitting up on top of the sits bones, lifting that right leg. Keep reaching out of the heel. We're opening up the gastroc here. Collarbones stay wide. Exhale, fold it across. Inhale the arms up to the ceiling, lifting the rib cage. Exhale, rotating open to the outside of the knee, looking over the shoulder. If that bothers your neck, then look forward. Getting a nice stretch here through the tensor fascia, IT band, piriformis. Don't let that left leg go lazy. We want to keep reaching out of that heel as well. Inhale, back to the ceiling, back to center. Exhale that leg long and into your midline, lengthening the spine. Hinge forward, reach through the toes, look forward. Keep the collarbones open, keep reaching through the heels. We're doing good, right? Take the hands to the left foot. Find that little scoop of the belly, glutes engage underneath you to lift up, to sit nice and tall. Keep reaching out of the heel here. If this leg has to bend a little bit, it has to bend a little bit. No worries. Exhale, fold that leg across. Inhale, lift the rib cage and rotate. Elbow to the outside of the knee. Nice little stretch here. Keep the spine long. Spinal extensors working. Inhale, reaching up to center. Take that leg back to staff pose. Nod the head, lift and scoop from the belly to round forward. Make sure those glutes are on. Inhale, lengthening the spine, rolling the crown of the head to your toes. Shifting the hands to one side of the body so that we can swivel those legs around back to our 4-point stance. And back to a little cat-cow. Exhale, rolling into your cat back. Inhale, rolling open to cow. Exhale, cow. Cat. I do it every time. Inhale, cow. One more time.
Yeah, Mary. I think it's going to be the latter where they're going to be independent because like the CB1 that.
Tuck those toes
Get
under.
that stuff fixed. It's not
Press out of the mat, back into your bent knee down dog. Walk the feet forward.
like if you have anything wrong with any of the stuff you try to automate it, then
Inhale, grow tall to mountain.
fix it. So I think you keep them separate.
Find your glutes on the way up. Exhale, swan dive back down to the mat. We're going to go back to a little bit of a lunge. Soften the knees here. Step the left foot back for lunge. Lengthening the spine here. Lower the left knee to the mat, reaching through the toe. Take that right hand to the inside of the left foot and let that right knee drop open. We're laterally rotating, but we're keeping the chest lifted, so don't round and sink here. Keep everything pressing out of the mat as you're lowering the pelvis with that lateral rotation, the external rotation of the hip. Use your adductor, your inner thigh, to bring that leg back to center. Circle that right hand to the outside. And we're going to walk that left foot over to the left hand so that we can lower down into a pigeon. If this left heel or this right heel has to come in more towards the left hip, that's okay. What we're working for is squaring off the hips. So we shouldn't be rolled open like this. If this hip is too tight, then bring this heel in a little bit. Square off the hips. You can lift to those fingertips, but I want you to really lift through that rectus abdominis. Left glute is activated. Collarbones are wide. Shoulder blades are gathering together. You're looking forward. Allowing your weight to sit into that right hip. Exhale, nod the head. Round the spine forward. Walking down to the elbows. And then lengthen the crown of your head so we can put a little bit more weight into that hip. Lengthen the spine. Look forward past your fingertips. Inhale, walk back up to the hands, gather the shoulder blades. If you feel a little bit stuck getting out of this, then all you have to do is roll open to the hip. But if you don't feel stuck and you're feeling nice and active here, we're going to keep pressing out of the mat. Tuck that back toe under to lift so that we can step this foot back to your lunge. Lower the back knee again, pointing the toe. Use the inhale to walk your hands up to the knee, deepening that stretch through the left hip. Keep your glutes engaged, your obliques engaged, your inner thighs hugging together so we don't roll out. Exhale the hands forward to the mat. Flex that front foot. Send the hips back. Keep your inner thighs gathering as you press back this time. And this time we're going to see if we can lower the chest to the thigh. Inhale, lengthen back up, bending that front knee. And I feel like now would be a good time to kind of check in with our splits. Where are we with our splits? If you need yoga blocks, then you can place those yoga blocks here-ish. right underneath your hands. And then start traveling down. We're already down through the back leg, so really we've just got to travel through the front leg. Otherwise, you can keep your hands on the mat. You can either flex and press forward through the heel, or you can keep the leg here and just start to travel forward. As the legs lengthen though, I am lifting my chest away, an upward facing dog here. Lifting the chest away and glutes are engaging to support the low back. It's okay if your pelvis doesn't come down all the way. It's a process. It takes a little while. Again, easiest way to exit is to roll out. If you feel like you get stuck here, if you feel active and strong here, you can press out of the mat to lift the hips and shift that front leg back. Bring that foot to the mat, tuck that back toe under, and step forward. Walk the fingertips forward and just walk out those legs for a second.
We gave a couple different things, so, and I'll bring something over tomorrow, different, but, I mean, well, I wanna make it for dinner.
Soften both knees, hands to mat. Let's step that right leg back for lunge.
You can't get used to it.
My mat's a little sticky today, I keep getting stuck on it. Lengthening the spine here. Reaching out of that back heel, glute engaged. Lower the back knee. Pointing the toe. Keep your shoulder blades engaged.
I'll send you the text of the recipe.
Take that left hand to the inside of that left foot and allow that left hip to rotate open. Keep the chest lifted, shoulder blades engaged. You can move in this or you can just hold and breathe. I want you to breathe either way, really.
Oh, I like it.
Use that inner thigh to bring the leg back. Circle that left arm outside and let's walk that foot over to the opposite hand, bending across to your pigeon. And again, if you can't square off your hips, having this leg folded forward at a 90-degree angle, bring that heel a little closer into your hips here so that you can square off the pelvis. This is my tight side. I need a lot of help on this side. It's okay to have a side like this. Lift the chest, make sure the glute stays engaged. When you're ready, walk the hands forward, folding the elbows to the mat. Keep the spine lengthened here, looking out over the fingertips. Breathe into those areas of tension, tightness. Try not to roll into the shoulders. Walk the hands back up. Lifting the chest, hugging the shoulder blades. Remember, you have the option to either roll out towards the hip or press into the mat, tuck the toe under, lift, back to your lunge. Lower the back knee back down to the mat. Point the toe. Let's deepen the opening through this right hip flexor. Walk the hands up. Keep gathering those inner thighs. You don't want to be hanging out way out here. You don't have to go into extension. We're not into a crescent lunge. We're stabilizing that low back. Exhale, fold the hands back down to the mat. Flex back through that front leg, lengthening out of the hamstring, sending the hips away. And see if you can draw that chest towards the thigh. Either lengthening out through the heel or coming back to this position and reaching through the toe, lengthening open into your split. Sides a little tight today. Keep the chest lifted. I'd rather the chest stay lifted and the pelvis not come all the way to the floor than see this or this. Either roll out or press into the hands to send yourself back. Tuck that back toe under, step forward, fingertips forward, and walk it out here. Bend your right knee, pressing that left heel into the floor. Make sure you shift your weight forward a little bit. If you're pressing your booty back, you're not going to get the stretch you're looking for out of this hamstring. If you still can't find it, you might need to fold your body forward. And switch sides. Soften that other heel to the mat. Walk the fingertips forward, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, soften the knees. Bringing the glutes back down to the mat, feet together, knees apart, holding onto those toes. Heels towards the pubic bone, lengthening the spine here. Exhale, bring the knees together. Walk the heels forward a step and round the spine back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, scoop the belly, rounding the spine back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale again. So I'm going to check our time because I could have you guys doing split training forever and ever and ever. Inhale up. Exhale, round. And inhale up. Take those legs out nice and long, fingertips forward. And scoop the belly. Let's roll all the way down to the mat. Our glutes are engaged. Heels are pressing away. We've got all the control in the world. Bringing the head down to the mat, hands down by your side. You can keep those legs long, or if you feel like you want to bend them, feet together, knees apart, wherever you feel like you want to take this little Shavasana. Find your comfortable space. After I've worked out my splits, I just kind of like to move around in the hips in my Shavasana, checking in with everything, checking in with the pelvis and the low back. But if you prefer to lay here and breathe and just recollect, that's okay too. While you're collecting yourself in Shavasana, take a moment to check in with your neck, moving it side to side. I see after we train splits, a lot of people tend to take tension up into the neck and the shoulders. So let's just work that out. Bring the head back to center and just draw little circles on the ceiling with the nose. Making sure to take that in reverse. And slowly bringing the hands overhead and clasping them back behind the head. Bending the knees, taking the feet flat to the floor. Bringing your pelvis into an imprint position if you need it for your low back. Inhale, nod the head. And from the base of the skull, just give your head a gentle pull. Keeping the shoulder blades gathered together, creating this sling to support the head as you move it side to side. Gently bringing the head back down to the mat. The knees to the chest, tucking the hands behind the thighs. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, roll up to sit. Great, I hope that gave you some information And a good idea of how to work into your splits and start training your splits every day. Open up your low back, work through a lunge series. You want to move everything, but really concentrate on your spinal extensors, your shoulder blades, your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads. We hit it all. So keep working on your